episode 6 of Minecraft Hardcore. In this episode, I'm gonna get perfect weapons, travel to a pillager outpost, and attempt to fight a raid. So stick around to see if I survive. Make sure to like, subscribe, share this video with friends, and without further ado, on with the video. So the first thing I wanted to do was get perfect enchanted weapons. And by weapons, I mean a bow and a sword. The reason I wanted to do that was because I was pretty scared to fight a raid with the tools I currently had, because there weren't a lot of enchantments on them, and they weren't really good. And just like last episode, I was going to trade with villagers to get the enchantments I wanted. So I started chopping some wood so I could make sticks and trade them in for emeralds. After I had a decent amount of sticks, I traded them in for 22 emeralds. So there were a couple of enchantments that I already had access to from last episode, like Unbreaking 3 and Mending. I then led a villager into the trading basement, but I stopped halfway because the villager actually got a trade for an enchantment I needed, and I didn't want to break the lectern because that would mean he would lose that enchantment, and knowing my luck, it would take me about an hour to get to that trade back. I didn't want to lead him all the way to the trading hall, so I just dug a pit for him, which is where he would spend the rest of his life, or until I build a bigger trading hall. I traded for fire aspect and then did the same for a bunch of other villagers to get some other books I needed. And if you're not new here, you would probably have already assumed that it's gonna be a book collecting montage. So in 3, 2, 1... Also, while I was trading for books, I bought a tropical fish off a wandering trader that came by, and if I hover over the bucket with my mouse, you can actually see that it's an emperor red snapper. I traded for the last book, and I finally had all the books. I went up to my XP farm and started swinging. After getting enough XP, I enchanted my sword and was really happy to see that I got the order of the enchantments right and that I didn't have to redo this entire thing. I then did the same for my bow, and there were only 5 enchantments this time, so I wasn't really worried. Now that I had perfect weapons, I was ready to move on to doing the raid. But before I could travel to a pillager outpost, I wanted to practice a few core mechanics that will give me a better chance during the raid. So I chopped some wood, and then I built a little practice area. I made it look sort of like a village, so the practice will be a little bit more realistic. The first thing I wanted to practice was the block clutch, just in case I needed a quick escape.
Nice.
Then I wanted to practice quickly replacing my shield with my totem, because I wanted to put my totem in my offhand the second I get one.
Nice.
After I was done practicing that, I wanted to practice shooting a fast-moving object. The reason I wanted to do this was that the evokers in a raid need to be killed quickly or else they summon Vexes. And I watched too many videos of those people dying to Vexes in their hardcore worlds.
Nice.
Now I was finally ready to travel to the pillager outpost. I double-checked I had everything I needed because I knew that as soon as I got the bad omen effect, I couldn't come back to the house since there were workstation villagers, and because the game would consider that a village, a raid will just start in my base, which won't be very good. So after double-checking my inventory, I headed out to the pillager outpost I saw on episode 4. On the way to the outpost, I saw my friend Polar Bear from episode 4, and he has just been chilling in the same place since the 4th episode. And then like 2 seconds later, I found the little grave I made for the pillager leader I killed also on the 4th episode. I then found an igloo, and I wasn't gonna kill them this time because I did that last time and people didn't really like that. I made it to the outpost, so I killed a bunch of pillagers until a banner guy spawned. I found a banner guy, so I headed over to him and kindly asked him to die. I got the effect, so I headed over to the village from last episode. As I was heading over to the village, I spotted something I have never noticed before. There was the smallest mushroom island I've ever seen, just kind of sitting there. It also turns out that the odds of finding a mushroom biome are very low. So after exploring for like a minute, I just continued. I saw my house in the distance, and I got kinda sad, because if I was to die in the raid, I wasn't ever gonna see my house again. A few minutes later, I was there. So I had finally done it. I completed a raid in Hardcore Minecraft, and I got like 5 totems of undying from it. Some of you might remember that on the first episode of this series, I spawned on a tree, and I thought it would be really cool to do a transition from when I spawned in to after I beat a raid. So now that I had totems of undying, I wanted to get the advancement Caves and Cliffs. In case some of you don't know this, the Caves and Cliffs advancement is achieved when you fall 384 blocks and survive, aka you need to fall from height limit to bedrock, and this advancement is pretty dangerous, but now that I had a totem, I wanted to complete it. So I started digging a hole. Now that I was at bedrock level, I needed to find a pocket that is at y-63. After finding one, I took a screenshot of the coordinates before heading back up to the surface. When I got there, I started digging a hole at those coordinates. After I got there, I put water in the hole and then I climbed back up with a ladder. When I was at the surface, I built up to y equals 320. But then something annoying happened. For some reason, my recording app started recording when I was already in the middle of the jump. But since there isn't much I can do about it, I'm just thankful that it didn't delete the whole thing, and I'll just play the rest of the clip. And when I went to sleep, I saw my new advancement in the chat. Now, the very last thing I wanted to do was make a little aquarium for my tropical fish. So that's all for today. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you like, subscribe, and share this video with friends who like Minecraft, because these videos take me a really long time and I put a ton of effort into them. Also, leave name suggestions for my tropical fish in the comments below. So, yeah. Peace.